So everybody's been asking me what are my views on demons? What do I think about demons and what are like what is my explanation on that particular topic? Uh First thing I would say about demons is that um everything in this universe has a polarity. Everything. God, devil, angels, demons, light, dark, good, bad. And in that polarity, depending on your perception at that time will determine how you view a thing. You got to remember everything in this matrix is an experience. Everything in this matrix is a lesson. You're teaching yourself a lesson by incarnating into this matrix, and everything that you experience in this matrix, you write it in. You script it in. You script it in as you go. So it's kind of like drawing a picture as you go. You may not know what you're even going to draw. You just begin to write down different parameters, and as you write down these different parameters you begin to formulate a picture. So I'm saying all of that in prelude to this video because you can't judge a person that may be demonic. You just have to know that that's their experience and that's their perception, and it's up to you as to whether or not you are going to feed into that and I guess feed into their demonic tendencies and allow that to be your reality. Because it's up to you what side you choose and what side you work with. And I'm going to explain demons pretty accurately in this chart. See, everybody, according to astrology, everybody has demons. And everybody has angels. It's kind of like the concept of the devil on one shoulder and God or your angels on the next shoulder, on the right shoulder. Most people associate the left hand with the demonic side and the right hand with the more positive side or the more light bearing side. And when you look at it like that, it really goes a little bit deeper than that. See, the left hand links to, from my research, the left hand links to the right side of the brain. The right side of the brain is the creative aspect of the brain. This is the creative side. And the right hand links to the left side of the brain. This is the logical side. This is the side that puts everything into a box. This is the side that puts limitations on our reality. Now, prior to 2013, 2014, the left or the right hand path, if you want to call it that, has dominated. This is the path of religion. This is the path of rights and wrongs and putting everything into a box. See, the left side of the brain has to put everything into a category or a box because anything that it doesn't understand, it has to categorize it. And anything that it doesn't understand, it'll call it demonic or evil. But there's a shift going on, and I'm going to do a video on this to go more in depth. And Satuk, I'm going to pronounce his name in this video, but I'm going to do a whole video on this particular deity. But Satuk is trying to rise right now from the underworld, and I'll do a video talking about that more in depth. So if it's successful, it hasn't been successful quite yet. He's been trying to rise since 2012, and he hasn't quite been able to show himself fully. But eventually, Satuk is going to rise. We don't know exactly what year it's going to happen or when, but it's going to eventually happen. He's very close to doing it. I can almost let you know if he's going to do it by June. Now, Satuk is what you would call a devil in religion. He's the devil. So if he gets a chance to rise from the underworld, then the left-hand path or the left-hand side is going to finally get a chance to dominate. So when you understand demons, you have to understand it from that perspective. In a world that's ruled by Satuk, demons will be considered good. In a world that's ruled by Asaru or Osiris, demons are considered evil. Because you don't know this because, you know, most of you aren't into Egyptology, but you worship Osiris right now. If you're religious and you worship God and you believe in God, you believe in Osiris. This is who you believe in. And Osiris, his name, I'm going to go into this in another video, but I'll just say that I'm not going to really go into defining names and things of that nature, but I'll just say that Osiris it represents, for right now, in the sake of this video, because he represents a lot more, but for the sake of this video, Osiris represents the right side of, I'm sorry, the left side of, yeah, the left side of the brain. And Satuk represents the right side of the brain, believe it or not. And demons come from a realm or from a mode of what's called creative fate. Creative fate. See, when you first incarnate into this reality, you have a set of experiences that you came here to experience. And it is your creativity and your creative fate that gives you the ability to experience these experiences from your unique perspective. And this is where the right side of the brain comes into play at. Because this is your creativity aspect. This is your creative side. So when you understand demons, like say for instance, there's different planets in your natal chart that depicts demons. Or the dark side of yourself, like Saturn. That's one of the more popular ones that everybody kind of alludes to being more so a darker planet. You have the shadow Lilith. I'm going to do a video on her. This is the dark side of a woman and the dark side of the type of woman that a man wants. Like say for instance, all men want a freaky type of woman, a woman that, you know, they may have like different sexual fantasies in general. Like how far your sexual fantasy goes depends on you, but you can look at a male's dark Lilith and kind of determine what kind of, you know, like the dark side of a woman and what he would want, you know, from really the dark side of himself and the type of woman that he would attract, predicated upon the dark side of himself, which goes more into like, you know, things that he won't expose to the everyday type of woman, or things that he may not expose on the surface. So you got dark planets. Even the moon, believe it or not, is a dark planet. It's not really a planet, but it's a darker aspect of a body in the universe. So there's the dark side of your natal chart and there's the light side of your natal chart, and at different times these different sides dominate. You even have signs that are depicted as being dark, like the signs, all the signs that come after Virgo this is the dark side of the natal chart. So Libra, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. These are all dark aspects of the self. So where these signs fall in your natal chart will determine more of your darker side. And when you understand demons, kind of going a little bit more deeper into the video now past the astrology point of view, when you do most rituals that are, I guess you could call self-centered or centered around you, you're working with demons. And this is what they're not going to teach people. A lot of people in religion, you're working with demons. That's right. Demons they don't have eyes to see. They don't have ears to hear. They don't have a mouth to speak. So when you work with a demon, and I'm talking about when you're doing ritual work now, because there's different rituals that you can do. When you work with a demon, you know you're working with a demon when you do any ritual that's self-centered. So I don't care if it's coming from a voodoo perspective. I don't care if you're into more so Wicca. Some people may do rituals centered around Egyptology. Any ritual that you do that's centered around you and the self, bettering yourself, whether it's even a love ritual even, to attract someone, is considered working with a demon. Gotta spill the beans on that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, you should know that. Because when you work with an angel, angels don't require offerings. Demons require you to give them something in exchange. It's always like an exchange. An angel will come to you and enlighten you during one of your darker moments. And an angel doesn't necessarily form a pact with you, like, well, you have to do this, that, and that in order for me to help you. An angel or an angelic being or ascended master is what it is. It's selfless. They have no attraction to anything in the third dimensional reality. So that's what makes them different from demons. Whereas demons still want things from the third dimensional reality. Some of them feed off of blood. Some of them feed off of food. This is why you see people in different cultures. They may leave some food sitting out. They're saying for their ancestors. Your ancestors can be in the realm of the demonic realm, and you might not want to hear this because demons are. When you mention the term demon, period, most people they think of some dark shit and like some negative shit more so than what anything. And that's I'm trying to get people out of that and just seeing it from a scientific perspective. Because a demon is just an entity that still is concerned with this realm, the earth realm. They're still concerned with it. They may be dead or on the other side or on the realm of the undead is what we call it, but they still have a fascination and attraction to playing the game here. Because this is a game here. And their karma is still caught up into this. So they even go as far as some demons become very powerful depending on how many people feed them and feed them. If they can get enough people to do rituals and feed them, they can start taking on multiple bodies. So demons can possess souls that have transformed and moved on to the other side. They can possess those souls. So like your ancestors, they can possess your ancestors. You say, well, I'm making this offer to my ancestors. They can possess them. These certain demons can when they move on to the other side. That's what you got to realize. And they can also possess bodies here in the Matrix, physical bodies. So demons are powerful. Angels, again, everyone for the most part has certain angels that are watching out for them. They're like appointed to you when you first come into this realm. Demons are something that you begin to pick up on once you are further into this incarnation. So that's what makes them different. Angels are keen decision makers, but they have rules of the way they function. Like they don't get involved with certain. They don't like getting involved with people in certain, I guess you can say, scenarios. They want people to kind of make their own decisions. The angels will only come on the scene a lot of times if you're in like a life-threatening situation or a life-threatening scenario. Then you might have like an angel or something that will come on the scene, and kind of like intervene without your asking them or summoning them. So there are rituals that you could do to work with angels, but these are more like rituals that involve groups of people, and this involves like bringing more light to the planet, and this involves usually shifting like collective consciousness. Angels are more so concerned with collective consciousness, whereas demons are more so concerned with the separate self or individual consciousness. So you have two selves. You have the higher self and the lower self. And most people, they say, well, you're supposed to neglect the lower self. Fuck the lower self. Don't even think about that. It's all about the higher self. But you wouldn't have a lower self if you weren't supposed to experience through that vehicle at times. And that's where demons come into play at. So I guess from my perspective, I'm saying that in order to be a master, 720 degree being, because you have 360 degrees of light in your natal chart, 360 degrees of dark, which in reality any planet can really be demonic or angelic depending on how you look at it. That's going into a deeper level of astrology. So in order for you to be a master, to master your natal chart, you got to master both sides to get 720 degrees, and that's the only way you will make it out of this realm and into the fourth dimension is if you master 720 degrees. So if you don't master 720 degrees, a lot of people can't do it in this life. So if you don't do it in this life, you may just incarnate back into another life on 3D somewhere else. There's other 3Ds here, even if this 3D is destroyed, because some people say that this is going to get destroyed eventually. Even if this is destroyed, they have 3Ds all over the universe, or all over the universes, because some people believe there's 7 universes. So it's all about perspective, and just understanding the angles of things and understanding what you're doing and getting yourself into before you do certain rituals. Anybody that works with gambling and things of that nature, you're working with demons. Period. If you're into that, and certain Christians, they don't even know they gamble and they do that stuff and go to church and say it's okay or whatever. And I mean, like I said, I'm an occultist, so I just see both sides of the thing. So I'm not here to judge whether or not you do it or not, good or bad. I mean, I will personally admit on this video that I've done rituals involving demons. Not myself, I've done rituals involving demons. So I mean, it is what it is, because I understand what a demon is and how to work with them. And a lot of people do rituals with demons and they get stuck in it, and they got to continue to give this offering to the demon, or stuff will start going bad. Like, say for instance, you did a certain type of a money ritual that may have involved a demon, and you invoke this demon and you start making money, but then you start losing money after that. It's because you got to keep feeding them, or you got to continue. You can't just forget and say, well, I'm making money now, and just move on and prance on to think that the demon is just going to continue to work for you. You got to continue to make offerings over and over again to this particular entity or this particular force. And if you don't, things will go negative on you, because the demon will get upset. It's just like a kid, or just remember, they have no eyes to see, no ears to hear, or not a mouth to speak, which means they don't really know right from wrong. A lot of demons are they're fixed on whatever they want, almost like animals. When an animal's hungry, it wants what it wants. Period. There is no decision making, or I'm not going to hurt this person or that person. If they're hungry, they're going to hurt whatever they think is the easiest kill. So if you're not feeding them, then they'll turn against you. You see? So the only other way outside of feeding them is to close the ritual off. And many people forget to do that. If you're done with that ritual, you can close a ritual off. And I think I'm going to have to at some point put some information up or talk about that in depth, so you can understand how to close a ritual off. But there's certain things that you must do to close a ritual off, and it involves usually doing some form of a cleansing or something of that nature, and then putting yourself in. I'll kind of explain a little bit over here just for people that may be experiencing this, because you may need help, and then I'm going to have to shut down because my time is limited. But it may involve you doing like a spiritual bath, starting out, cleansing yourself, and then after you've done this spiritual bath, you may wait till like around a full moon. And and remember, most demonic rituals, or when you do rituals for demons, you notice you do them at night. It's usually not during the peak hours of the sun. It's a nighttime type. The demons come out during what's called shadow period. That's the best time to do a ritual. Like a lot of people that are doing money rituals during the daytime, they may not be working. I mean, it all depends on the ritual. There's millions of different rituals, so I mean, I'm not trying to judge your ritual, but some of them may not work unless you do them at night. So when you do this thing at night, you put yourself, when you're trying to close it out, you got to come out around the same time, which is usually 3 a.m. That's the best time when everyone's asleep, and the shadow and the shadow land is all wide awake during that time when everybody sleep. You come and you do this ritual, and you put yourself in a circle. You draw a circle around yourself, and you sit in that circle, and you basically tell the demon that you're working with, yo, I'm done with you. Like, you can kind of write out your own ritual, if you will, or like I said, I'll do a whole video dedicated to this, but you want to kind of like basically tell the demon that you're done, like you're finished with them. You want to do this formally. You may have to do it 3 times even. Because once you do it 3 times in the universe, even if the demon doesn't listen to you, because of course, like I said, demons don't have no eyes to see, ears to hear, so they may continue to wreak havoc in your life. But once you do it 3 times, you can call on entities out there that are similar to like genies. They're called jinns, and the demons work with jinns, and they can close off the ritual for you. They'll petition on your behalf and make it to where the demon leaves you alone. So that's how you do that thing there. Hope that gives you a little bit more light on understanding demons. Particular individual wanted me to do a video on this. I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for watching. And until my next, I'm going to leave you in Hotep, love, light, and I ask the universe to give you the ability to see in the dark. Wisdom.